good morning, good evening, wherever you might be in this crazy world that we live in. Welcome. I'm going to go over some strange things I've seen in movies. I'm going to try to keep it to 5 minutes, so I'll go pretty quick. I got a list of movies I want to go over, so I'll start doing that now. Superman, so what you'll find really interesting, religious context is his name, Kal-El, is actually Hebrew. We got some information on the screen. It means God of all. So Kal meaning all. El is a old word for God. It could mean a lot of different gods depending on where you look. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and how he fell from the heavens, reference to Satan, right? He's in the house of El, also kind of strange. Snow White, if you remember the mirror scene where there's a mirror on the wall, right? I think we've all seen that scene. That's actually a black mirror, and it's used for what's called divination, which is contacting spirits. It's an occult practice that's still used to this day, linked to people like Aleister Crowley. So if you ever see a black mirror like that, it's a good idea to stay away from it. Eyes Wide Shut. I've done a little bit of analysis on this movie. I don't claim to be an expert on this stuff, but some things I picked up. The colors that they use in the ceremony, the red, white, black, they all actually mean something. It's the rank of the person. So the piano player was wearing white, hence why he's blindfolded in the movie because he's uninitiated. Black is initiated, and they have different ceremonies for that. I won't get into all that right now. The red is like the mage or the wizard. That person is specifically, they're the highest ranking member usually at those meetings, and they contact spirits. So, Hunger Games, I thought this was kind of an interesting movie. It's showing the tribalism, cutting up humanity into districts, having them fight amongst each other for resources while the aristocrats kind of kick back and laugh. Kind of reminds me of today. Lord of the Rings, there's kind of a lot of symbolism here. I'm just going to touch on the major ones, but the Eye of Sauron is, the all-seeing eye is a reference to, the enemy, right? If you look at top of the pyramid on the back of a $1 bill, you see that a lot. Gandalf raised from the dead, saves Helm's Deep on the third day. A lot of different biblical themes there. Secret Invasion. This is the movie about humanity, Earth being infiltrated by shape-shifting lizard people known as the Skrulls. They're actually in history. If you go back thousands of years ago, they were called the Naga, and they were worshipped in India. So it's kind of interesting. The second thing I'll mention is in the Book of Genesis when Eve talks to a talking serpent. So kind of interesting. I don't fully understand the connection. I think they're fallen angels, but they could be Nephilim. They live, it's interesting in this movie how they kind of have an underground base and they meet to kind of take over society and whatnot. I thought there's a connection there to Genesis 6 where the Nephilim were in the earth. Again, I'm still trying to piece it together, but I think it's kind of an interesting thing. Vampires, there's a lot of movies on vampires. Blood drinking is a very old tradition in the occult, and people like King Charles claim to be the ancestors of Vlad the Impaler. So you see in Revelation, there's a woman drunken with the blood of the saints. So again, quite a bit of interesting things there to unpack. Independence Day, there's kind of a lot on aliens. I probably should do a separate video on that. But basically, it's happened before. It's increasing more and more as the world becomes more wicked. I'll probably have to do another video on it, but just know that they're not our friends. They don't love you. They're not here to help you. They're here to ultimately deceive and destroy you. So throughout human history, fallen angels and spiritual beings would give people technology. Like Enoch, the Book of Enoch talks about that. You can look at the Vril Society in Nazi Germany. There's other references as well. I won't get into all that right now, but yeah, aliens not our friend, kind of important. Stargate, it's kind of an interesting theme. I'll emphasize the pyramid. Pyramid is kind of it is a calling card for the occult. It's how they structure their organizations. I don't probably need to get into that too much, but as you imagine, the higher you go up, the more you get corrupted. Game of Thrones is in the Bible. You'll find this pretty interesting. Daniel chapter 11. In the name Daenerys Targaryen, the name Ishtar or Istar, the great whore, this Babylonian spirit, is actually embedded within the name. Denarius is Roman currency, den meaning 10, Arius meaning working together, which is a reference to the Antichrist.